Okay, the purpose of this video is to give parents, administrators, anybody that would need to have clarification on what just the flow, the workflow, and homework in our Geometry B classes looks like. So I'm gonna just grab a chapter 6 over here on the side here, for example. Okay, and you can kind of get a glimpse of what our daily routine looks like and how homework rolls through. So here's pretty much all of our chapter 6 content. Okay, and I'll just take, for example, let's jump to section 6.6. Okay, trapezoids and kites. So sometimes one of these blocks will take a couple of days of instruction. So I'll go to 6.6 because we did 2 days of instruction for trapezoids and kites. The way we did 6.6 is we did trapezoids one day and kites the second day. Okay. What we do in class is our study guide. Okay, so here on this block, students will get a hard copy of the study guide when they come to class, but if they miss it or for whatever reason don't get it, the study guide is right here. They can click on it and download a copy of the study guide. This will be a blank study guide. Okay, this is the same one we hand out in class. Mr. Blaylock usually will do a warm-up, and then we will jump into the examples that are in the study guide. It sort of lays out the concepts, okay, and then we have examples that we'll work through together in class. So that's the study guide. Now, if a student misses class, let's say, here's the study guide answers. If they're not there for that particular day, they can find that on the class page as well. There's a study guide with the answers filled in. Now, homework is off to the side here, okay, but you'll notice it says practice 6.6 homework. The way homework is set up in our class, okay, is that it's practice. The purpose of it is practice. It's worth 10 points. They get to take it 2 times, all right? So, let's say they want to start this practice, okay? First question says find the measure of angle S, all right? So, suppose a student makes a mistake on this and they type in 63, okay? And they click OK. It's going to show that they got that wrong, right? Now, suppose they correct it and say, all right, I know that from the study guide, that really would be 180 minus 63. So the correct answer there should be 117. Okay, so they type in 117. They click OK. And now they get a green check mark. So they get 2 chances to answer it. If they answer it wrong both times in a row, they don't get a second chance to answer it, all right? Now, they click OK. And that one is submitted, and they move on to number 2. So we want to make sure that there's a green check here that shows that this one has been done and this one's not done. Now, because I answered this one wrong the first time, but then got it right on the second attempt, I get partial credit for that. So at the end of my assignment, I wouldn't get a full 10 out of 10. I might get maybe 9.5 out of 10. Okay? The assignment is only 7 questions. All right? Now, I gave a little bit more insight into where the assignment comes from. And if a student needs help with it, okay, so this was the 6.6 homework. If they come over here to the 6.6 skills practice, you'll see the 6.6 skills practice is where I get the questions for the homework. Okay, so sometimes I've had, particularly this year, students, so here's the exact same question, right? Find the measure of angle S, all right? This is where I got that question. Now, I don't usually take all of the questions on the skill practice. I'll take some of them. So, for example, I put this was 2 days, so trapezoids and kites, they probably want to wait until we finish the whole section before they would do that 6.6 homework, okay? But suppose they needed help with it. Again, here's the skills practice, but then the skills practice answers are here as well, okay? So there it is. There's the 1/7 measure of angle S, 117. So not all of these will be on there. I select some of them, just enough so that they're getting some practice outside of class, okay? So that's how the homework's structured. The other part of the homework that is kind of important to understand or remember is that it's left open for an entire week. So after we finish 6.6, so if it took us 2 days in class to finish 6.6, the assignment that I just showed you will stay open for an entire week. So students don't have to do it immediately. It's probably not a bad idea if they do, but it's there for a whole week. So if they don't complete it within a week, then it's going to go in as a 0. Now, the other thing we do after, we'll do some examples in class, we will also practice in class, okay? So you have a practice worksheet here, all right? Students want a hard copy of the practice worksheet. It's right here in our class pages in unified classroom. All right. The way that we practice these in class, okay, is on GoFormative. So if I go to GoFormative, this is my GoFormative account. I'll slide over here, and you can see under formatives and geometry, I have a lot of stuff in here. So I would navigate through here on the day that we're doing trapezoids and kites. Let's see. Okay, so here's geometry trapezoid. See it down here? I'll click on this and I'll assign it to the class. So if I assign this to period 3, okay, then what happens is when I click on view responses to, let's say, question number 1, I can see all of my students and their responses here and whether they got the first one right. Okay, and what is number 1 on the GoFormative? I can click on preview and you can see, well, here's number 1 on GoFormative. Find the measure of angle T. Where did I get that from? Oops. Again, on the practice worksheet for trapezoids and kites, I get the problems right off of here. And I've imported them all into GoFormative so we can sort of practice them together in class together, right? So that's the same one. Again, I don't probably assign all of these, like what we did the one day, we would do trapezoids, and then the second day, here are some kites, we would do the kites the second day in class. So that's how we practice in class with the practice worksheets, and we do them on the platform of GoFormative, so we can kind of track everybody's progress together and see how folks are doing. And again, it's only like 5 questions, so we do some examples, we get some practice collaborating together, and then students have some homework that they want to do on their own. That shouldn't take that much time, but they have an entire week to do that, and that assignment also stays open. So if they get a couple done at one time and then they have to come back to it, it'll stay open for them and keep their work. So I hope this is helpful for parents, administrators, anybody looking to see the how the workflow goes in our Geometry B classes.